Hang in
Dude,
there. It is.
that's Smylie Kaufman for 61. Wow.
I'm Smylie Kaufman, and this is The Smylie Show.
Welcome back to another episode of The Smylie Show. And this one's going to be a little bit different from our usual shows. I watch Smylie. This is becoming like a theme now is we open the show and Smiley's got some sort of exotic beverage in his hand. What are we working with there?
What do you think it is?
That looks to me like a latte of some sort.
Mm-hmm. There must be a brisk chill in the air.
What is tell me a little bit more about this latte. Did you get this at the Marine Hotel?
I don't understand why they put a spoon in here. Do people
just elevated vibes?
Like, do people like having a spoon and drinking their lattes?
Well, maybe if they think if you're going to add a little something to it, you know,
that it's
some
a mixer.
Sugar, some cream, a little dollop of ice cream, things of that nature.
Wow, a little bit of ice cream in here. That could be something. It's 5:38 right now, by the way. So I'm sure there's people that get freaked out. It's like, dude, you're drinking. I mean, latte is not absurd by any means as far as the metrics for caffeine, but still, it's it kind of wigs some people out. Some people don't drink coffee past lunch, and they can't sleep. This won't be a problem for me. I could be in bed 2 hours after this.
I'm on the same boat, and I think that probably says something about my levels of caffeine intake, which I really that's on my list of things I want to work on.
Or just your lifestyle.
Yeah, listen, we're parents of young children, so I think we get a little bit of a pass in the caffeine department. But I mean, this is really going to take us on a tangent, but I'm worried about my heart a little bit, Smylie. And so as a result of that, I'm back in the tennis game. Played tennis for the first time last night, ran around a little bit, was 15 minutes. And I thought my chest was going to explode.
Really?
Tough scene. Yeah. We really need to get back on the cardio.
We need to get Charlie on the old workout program, huh?
We do, because we moved with the Peloton. The Peloton was packed up. That was my main source of cardio. I have a love-hate relationship with the Peloton, so it's been a lot of hate recently.
Do you want to follow me on Peloton?
Oh yeah. Do you have a Peloton username?
Oh yeah. It's like my username I have for everything.
Oh, do you want to hear mine? You're going to love mine.
Yeah, give it to me.
Chaz Cycles. So there you go. It's one of my more creative like usernames that I've ever made in my entire life. But it was after watching Blades of Glory once. I was like, it would be a good Peloton name, Chaz Cycles. And so there it is.
That's incredible. Are you a low impact guy every time?
I love that this is how I love we're tangenting now. This is fantastic. I am at risk of revealing a little bit too much about my Peloton persona. I'm committed to Olivia. Like, Olivia's my girl. Like, Olivia gets me right. She is like a little smiling assassin. That if you're gonna ride with Olivia, like, you're gonna sweat. It's gonna be worth the time you put in. So I do anything in the Olivia family. And then also from time to time, I'll do Lane Break, because I like the video game aspect, and they got some good tunes on there. But I'm just Lane Break and Olivia. That's all I do.
Okay. Noted.
What's your game? You low impact guy?
Sometimes when I'm not feeling it, and then the competitive spirit in me takes over, and then it doesn't turn into low impact any longer. I like doing like 20-30 minute rides in Tabata, and God, what would be the other one I do? Is it high intensity? That's HIIT. That's it.
Yeah, HIIT and Tabata are like same family, like cousins in a way, just structured a little bit differently.
Yeah. That's typically what I do. I don't think I've done a Peloton ride in probably a month or two, if that.
I'm north of that.
Probably got some cobwebs on it.
Mine literally, it used to be in my office. It's now in the garage. It has literal cobwebs on it. So
is it a bad investment Pelotons?
I mean, if we really want to go down that road, yeah, like there was that boom. There was the pandemic boom, which was huge for the company. And then they invested a ton of money in like tread and new instructors and this and that. And now they've kind of had this like turn of people who are no longer doing it. In fact, I think my monthly subscription is now dormant because I was using it so infrequently that I said, let's pause this and we'll get back to it when we're ready to kind of literally and figuratively.
I think we're there. Did we just talk about that?
We did. I think we're there, but I will say, dude, and this happens to me every year when Wimbledon's on. I'm like, you know what I should do is get back into tennis. And so I gave it a shot. I hit with my buddy last night, who's like actually good at tennis. He's gonna string me up a little Babolat racket. My guy Carlitos Alcaraz. I'm gonna just stand lockstep with him and get out there and
wow.
So I'm gonna try to do 6 a.m. tennis twice a week.
May 20th. It's the
last ride. I don't even know that I have the app on my phone anymore.
You know what's bad is when I logged into the app, it didn't even recognize me. Like I had to. That's when you know. That's when you know you need to get with it, kid.
I'll do you one better. When I went to go click on my app, it had done that thing where I hadn't used it in so long that it was no longer loaded on my phone. It was like I have to reinstall this app.
Just a bunch of dad things going on.
Dad things, man. Dad things indeed. Well, I love that we started here because this actually sets a nice tone for what we're about to do for this episode because you are currently listening to this while Smylie is somewhere in Ireland just golfing his ball, taking in all the sights and sounds, probably consuming all sorts of Irish beverages with good company. So I'm thrilled for you in that respect.
Yes.
And this is post open week. What we decided to do here, because we've been on sort of a Scottish golf theme for a while, we had the Scottish Open in North Berwick. We move, of course, to Royal Troon. It's in Ayrshire. I think I'm saying that right. Okay. All right. Yeah, I'll take your word for that.
Sounds better than what you were saying.
Yeah, Ayrshire. Yeah, whatever. Royal Troon in Scotland. That's the main part. So we had a British Open in Scotland, and I, of course, on the front of all this, was on my own little sort of Scotland golf trip. My first adventure over in Scotland. Played 12 courses, played 13 rounds over 8 days with my dad. It was absolutely phenomenal. And so what we decided to do here is a little bit of a trip review, a little bit of a show and tell action. I've got some notes, I've got pictures, I've got videos. And for any of you out there that have a Scotland trip on your bucket list, maybe this is, sort of a helpful reference if you are, you're trying to figure out where you want to play. If you want to hear a first timer's perspective, there's a lot of people out there that have done this a million different times. This is like my first kind of dipping my toe in the pool. So does that all sound good to you, Smylie?
Yeah, no, basically we are doing a blog, except we're not typing it. We're going to talk about it, and I'm going to have plenty of questions throughout. I think that for any golfer that has fallen in love with the game and has not played golf in Scotland or better yet, in Ireland, that would be something you need to put on your bucket list, because I was thinking about this walking around this morning at Royal Troon, that there's not a whole lot of things I love more than links golf. I was thinking about a list of things that would be above it, and it's up there. Like, it's top 5. Links golf is top 5 of my favorite things in the world.
I could not agree more. And experiencing it for the first time for me was like the first day when we pulled up to we played a more modern course for our first course, Dundonald, but still the elements and the sort of course conditions remained similar, if not the same. And it was the delight in setting my bag down. Instead of doing my customary pulling out my 56 degree and hitting some short chip shots, pulled out a pitching wedge and a 7-iron. And I was going to warm up the bump and runs and seeing, how far I need to carry certain shots so I could land them and run them up onto greens. It's a delight in trying to shape different shots and do things differently in Scotland than you would ever do for the most part in the United States. That part of it is just, it's so much, and it's two things. It's what happens to the ball in the air with so much more wind and elements than we normally experience in the United States. And it's what happens to the ball on the ground with these sort of firm approaches and rolls and contours. It's truly, I'm sure at some point in time, if you play the game of golf, you played a course, you're like, wow, that's really unique and fun. It's that almost every single time you go out and play.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
What he's doing on a 5-day basis, and when he pitches at that ballpark, there's one thing you notice: there's not one empty seat.
The excitement he's brought to that city, and the fact that fans are starting to come back, especially on the nights he pitches, I mean, it is so cool to see. It's so overdue, and you can't help but root for Pittsburgh.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
You mean to tell me Kevin Durant could just get a free trip and Jaylen Brown telling y'all I can play? Y'all won't put what they got to get. They will not put Jaylen Brown on the team. They'll give them who get hurt.
He's an NBA professional, billionaire, superstar player. I feel like this is just an opinion. The Olympics should be about Olympians, not about pros that come to represent as Olympians.
Only on SportsGrid.
Then played Turnberry Ailsa in the afternoon, and golly, man, like here's the best way. And this is, I also started giving shout outs to the caddies along the way. So Derek was on the bag. Derek had to watch me make a mess of this place. To me, this place reminded me in terms of feel when you're playing it to Pine Valley. And let me describe why.
And this is where, sorry.
This is Turnberry Ailsa.
Oh,
so duel in the sun.
Wait, so Turnberry, what are you calling it? Turnberry what?
Ailsa.
Is that different from another? Is
yes,
Turnberry Trump 1-2?
That's correct. So it's Trump Turnberry is the whole resort, and then there's Turnberry Ailsa, and then the second course I think is called King Robert the Bruce. I think it used to be called Kintyre.
But is Ailsa the main?
Ailsa's the main that's hosted numerous Open Championships, Duel in the Sun, Stuart Sink and Tom Watson in 2009. Like it was in all these places. You go to these places.
Incredible.
It is gorgeous. I'll share this photo I have up with you right now.
The ninth hole is like their version of Cypress, right?
There you go. Ninth hole right in front of you.
Oh my gosh, is the wind off the left.
That one, so this was a wind off the left day, Smylie. I hit so many space balls. I was aiming off this tee like almost left of the lighthouse and still ended up right of the green. It was just
the last Open they had there was 06. Is that right?
09. That was the Stuart Sink, Tom Watson.
So tell me, is it a shame that they'll never go back? Is it's the Trump thing? Is that why?
It is the Trump thing, and here is. Let me just be very clear.
It's a shame, right? Because it looks amazing.
Let me be very clear about this. There's no political assignment to this. In fact, I am the furthest you'll find from someone who is politically inclined. I just want to enjoy good golf, talk about good golf, play good golf. For all of the grief that Trump catches, like I'll say pros and cons here. Cons are, I think this place, the sort of infrastructure around it has grown a little too ornate for a course that has such a rich and deep Open Championship history, right? Like it's a little bit too fancy compared to some of the nicer or the other history steeped clubs you go to and you see the cool clubhouses. And Prestwick is such a great example of just you walk and you're like, wow, this feels like history. Now the pros.
Muirfield, probably the same way.
Well, Muirfield's probably the same way. What Trump has done with this course, and whether it's him or an extension of who he's got working for him, is so brilliant in terms of taking it back. They got a bunch of 1950s era aerial photos and took it back to that sort of version of the course, and it's brilliant. I mean, it's where they've moved greens out for some of these sort of scenic positions, over the water, away from, like, a lot of the greens were pulled further back, and now they're in these more dramatic locations. It's a brilliantly designed and routed golf course, and I think that sometimes it gets lost in the ownership whose name's on it. And to me, I don't think that's fair. It's like, I'm just trying to evaluate a golf course on its merits. And I'd say, yes, it is a shame the Open's not come back. Now, part of that might be, travel and its location, and how do you get there, and what's the infrastructure and all that sort of stuff. It is a little bit out of the way. But I'd say, in terms of just a sheer evaluating a golf course in a vacuum, this place is unbelievable. And so I'd say
it looks unbelievable. Just the big rock out there.
Oh my goodness. And so here, I'm going to show you here. Here's looking back at this is the 15th.
Where does this rank for you for the trip?
It is, so it's interesting. It's like, and this routinely appears in the top 10 in the world in courses. A lot of times top 5. This is the 15th tee. So you're looking back into the clubhouse. You're seeing the sort of vastness of the property. The ocean is to your right. This is what I say here is, like, why compare it to Pine Valley is it's one of those courses that, there's so much history there. There's so much in the way it's a brilliant course, but you're kind of smiling through gritted teeth because it's just beating the crap out of you, especially the wind we were playing it in. And I think it's a brilliant course in the vacuum. It wasn't one of my favorites simply because I just found it immensely challenging, and like, it'd be hard to play there every single day because you'd just be like, really, again, another like mid to high 80s score. Like, I've had enough of this.
Where do you think I would have ranked it?
I think you would have found this to be one of your favorites on the trip, if not the top. I mean,
yeah.
I think on a list that includes, so the full list, I'll just kind of lay out now: Dundonald, Turnberry, Ailsa, Western Gales, Prestwick, North Berwick, Carnoustie, Panmure, St. Andrews Jubilee, Crail, Balcomie, Dumbarnie, St. Andrews Old Coast, and Kingsbarns. Like, if it was you, I bet the ones you would have liked the most.
You played so much golf. Oh my god! I was like, when's he gonna stop?
I think you would have liked Turnberry, Carnoustie, Old Course, and Kingsbarns. I think those would have been your favorites.
North Berwick's it's in my top 5 of. Yeah,
we'll get to North Berwick.
Yeah,
North Berwick. Maybe my favorite place in the entire golf world.
All right. So the question I have about, actually not a question, something that I was talking to Scotty Scheffler and Sam Burns about today. They were talking about mulligans, and then somehow it sparked a conversation in that Travis Perkins, Sam Burns' caddy, Ted Scott, and Scotty and Sam played at Turnberry, I guess maybe earlier this week.
Last week. Yeah.
Right. And they played like a partner every 6 holes. So you flip a tee for it. And it just so happened it was pros versus Joes on the last 6 holes. And I guess they were saying, based on the shots, that they were giving their caddies crap for having too many shots, and they were carrying them somewhat in the first 12 holes. And then the last 6 holes that Sam and Scotty won 3 of the first 6 holes, and they were giving them for it. And on the 5th hole, or actually the 4th and the 5th hole, so it would have been 15 and 16, Ted and Travis both had these incredibly bad whip outs that ended up losing the match. And Scotty's like very, I would say his personality is like, he's kind of goofy, loves like office comedy. And he was just smiling ear to ear, talking about taking Ted Scott's money. Just like that gives him so much excitement getting caddy money.
I love that so much. I love that they were out there, because I think for those guys, it's got to be a little bit of, I mean, I guess you think of a professional player and they're playing so much golf already. And I think I heard JT say this at one time. It's like, buddy, we don't have a ton of chances to play other golf courses because we're so busy playing the ones we got to play for our tour events. And so it thrilled me that they got to go to a place where hopefully the Open will come back at some point in time down the road. And I think that, you know, getting to see a place like that is super cool, and especially fun that you got a guy that's as competitive as Scotty that, you know, was out there just delighting and taking Ted's money.
You mean to tell me Kevin Durant could just get a free trip and Jaylen Brown telling y'all I can play? Y'all won't put what they got to get. They will not put Jaylen Brown on the team. They'll give them who get hurt.
He's an NBA professional, billionaire, superstar player. I feel like this is just an opinion. The Olympics should be about Olympians, not about pros that come to represent as Olympians.
Only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
What's the best caddy name of the entire trip? There has to be one that's like Iggy or something like that.
Last round of the trip, which we'll get to, was an amazing crescendo at Kings Barnes. Struan. 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 And you could tell he'd done this a million times because they have the bibs with the names on the back. So he comes up, shakes your hand. Hi, I'm Struan. And I'm like, and he just turns around without saying a word and just points at the back of his thing. And I was like, oh, Struan. And he's like, you might have done that a few times before, haven't you?
Like the Struble.
So that was, I mean, Western Gales it's my brother's favorite course. So many delightful holes. And I just think just the natural element of it was amazing. I'll share one more photo with you here of the locker room.
It was just you and your dad, right? Your brother didn't go on this, right? Were they pissed that they didn't get the invite or what?
I was supposed to go on a trip in high school with my brother and my dad to Scotland, and I was more concerned with travel baseball at that point in time. So,
okay.
So this was like the sort of the makeup for that. But this is, I mean,
how good is that locker room?
Look at the light coming into the locker room and just I love a locker room that is not too over the top, but that has like that classic feel. And I stepped into this one and I was like, man, special place. And there's a locker where they have all like pros that have come in and played who signed the locker. And Tom Watson had just been out there. They said Tom Watson was unbelievable as a putter, like just was talking to the caddies, getting input, but he knew every contour out there, was incredibly respectful. They just loved him there. So just really, really cool stuff. So that is Western Gales. So now we flip over to Prestwick. And Prestwick, let me tell you, man, this one delighted me. Like it's the original Open Championship venue.
Yep.
It is, and I've got a picture here. This was my homage to Aaron Ride Day. For about the first 30 minutes we were out there getting ready. This was me, double ghost rain hat. And if you zoom in here on this plaque, you can see it's a plaque that's commemorating the first Open Championship ever played at Prestwick. They've since changed the routing, but there's
like one original hole though, right?
There's an original hole that is it's like crisscrosses multiple holes. What it is now is like they eventually reformatted. It was a 12-hole routing, and they added 6 new holes.
Yep.
And you very much can tell the difference between the 12 ones that are more original and the 6 newer ones. It's like it's like almost midway through the front 9, you're like, this course has changed a little bit, and then you get back on the back and you're like, oh, here we go. This is what I was experiencing to start this round. Like, to me, and this is such a bad comp, but you know how much I love Tobacco Road. And it's like if Tobacco Road was built like hundreds and hundreds of years ago with all the quirks and the fun, it would be Prestwick. And that's not a slight to Prestwick in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a feel for it. This is like unusual compared to the ones you've just like. There was a clear identity in the other ones that you've sent.
This is first tee. You're literally next to a railway. There's a road.
I'm looking at it right here, and it's a super flat fairway. Just looks like SK would be hitting 3 on his second shot on the tee box.
It is tight. It's very tight. You're hitting a lot of irons. You're hitting a lot. Like there was a par 5, the first par 5 Cardinal, the 3rd hole. It is the most bizarre stretch of shots where you're just like, just trust your caddy, because he's like, just hit it there, and you're like, really? He's like, yeah, this is about how far you want to hit it. And then the next shot, same thing. And then all of a sudden you're up next to the green, and you got a little pitch in for, or you're close to the green up for a par 5. And it's just the whole thing was so much fun. I had a caddy chick who was hilarious, who actually recently carried for some of the foreplay guys. I think Frankie and Riggs were over there. Maybe it was Frankie and Trent. He was on there and just was hilarious jokes all day long.
Great.
Yeah, that place was special. The 17th hole, Alps, it's like 394-yard par 4, where you hit this first shot kind of down this valley, and then you have a completely blind wedge. You have to hit over a big hill and down to a green.
This one seems, of the ones you've shown me, like the quirkiest.
Without a doubt, the quirkiest. And to me, you come to Scotland for some of that quirk. And this is right.
Is the quirk turning you on a little bit, Charlie?
Quirk gets me going a little bit. It's a little hot and bothered. I mean, I think, we can recap it at the end. Like, I mean, I think Prestwick, North Berwick, like I loved Western Gales a lot, but I'd say like Prestwick, North Berwick, and we'll get to Crail, Balcomie, were like my 3 just like, I don't know any other golf courses in the world that are like this. And for that reason, I would come back and play it all the time.
Noted.
Also got to look, as you know, well-documented merch guy. Got to give a shout out to the MVP of the trip, which was obtained in the Prestwick shop. This Prestwick Grayson windbreaker, absolute MVP. You're going to start seeing this pop up in every other course, because I think I wore it every day after this. It was just lightweight windbreaker. Just a great play, simple little logo.
I'm not convinced you're showing us this because you feel like your finish makes you look like a pro here.
Well, I mean, if you look at the footwork there, dude, do you know anyone else who has footwork like that? I don't know.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
If this wind like we have out of the Northwest was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. The guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
Then we move to what you and I think share is like. I mean, this place is just amazing. North Berwick, West Links.
Don't need to Google North Berwick. I got that one on the list.
You know that one. So
We've talked about that one, and everybody knows our feelings of this. I think if I can take a bit of the lead on this one as I set this up for you, North Berwick is if you've never heard of it, first off, go do a little bit of research about this place, because many of the template holes that you see that architects across not only the country but the world use the designs and the templates of these holes. And it's just fascinating to me because North Berwick was built in what year? Can you live produce this?
1832.
1832. And I think that's the insane part about it to me, is how they can look at this piece of land in 1832 and be able to have just the mind to create something so special like this that would be usable in 2024. I think that to me is why North Berwick is such a unique experience, because you have, especially when you turn the corner after, I believe, that ninth hole, and then you go on that back nine, you got the hole on 13 with the stone that runs up right of it, the pit, right? Thank you. And then you run into the famous Redan hole, followed by the Barrett's, then the Punch Bowl, and you just have the amazing finish, as like similar to St. Andrews, as you go out and you come back in, and you just keep on coming closer and closer to the town of North Berwick. That is what makes that experience so cool, because it has that St. Andrews vibe, but you have the history of, man, you're on a golf course that is on this incredible piece of land and just has this unique charm that you feel like you're playing in something that is like a little slice of heaven of a golf course that is just, it's just fascinating to me.
I think that is so perfectly said. I think the comparison to St. Andrews is absolutely one that came to mind for me, because it is all of those things you mentioned. It's the course itself that's this amazingly fun figure eight routing where you're starting out and you're winding in, and then you're kind of coming, you're going back out, and then you're looping back around in, and then making your way home. It's the people there. And by the way, I got to give huge shout out and thanks to Stuart, Paul, Martin, and Katie, who could not have been more hospitable at North Berwick. Like, just, got us set up for an extra round the night before when we got it after Prestwick. Played the next day. My caddy Gordon was unbelievably good. Even like there were two members, this guy Jake and David, who the first night called us up to the tee at 15 in Redan. We played 15 and 16 with them, and then we had to hop in for dinner. I mean, everything about this place, the way that the club and the town mesh, where you have people walking their dogs or riding their bikes through. We're out there the first night, and this guy's whole family came out to meet him on the tee and walk with them through the course. There's a little kids course, a little kind of short. They call it the Wee Links, where you might have seen Victor Hovland out there doing a deal with FedEx and some junior golfers there recently. It is the town itself. The whole thing is just, it's the feeling I want to feel when I'm around the game of golf. And they have just, organically nailed that to such a tee. I would put 13 through 16 up against any four holes in the world.
Yeah,
Pitt,
100%.
Perfection, Redan, Gate, just a delight to play. Gate's that last spirits. This is, so just a couple I'll share with you briefly, because you covered a lot of North Berwick and why we love it so much. So here's Pitt. You can see that sort of stone wall in the background. You have to hit an approach shot over that into Pitt. I so badly wanted this birdie putt to drop, and it was like tracking, and then at the last minute just dives to the right, unfortunately. But like this green, this little slender green behind this stone wall is just.
I shouldn't have said a word. You see that house in the background? That was our rental house.
Was it really?
I would come out after the Scottish Open, and when I was there last year, and go play. I would play that loop. It was like 6 through 13.
Oh,
fantastic.
This is my dad at perfection. This is the next hole. It's a 14th. It's basically you hit this kind of like iron off the tee, and then you have this blind approach shot down to a green sitting right on the edge of the water. Caddies kind of tells you like hit it out right.
That's right.
Yes.
That hole was wild.
So good.
I tried to go for it. Shocking.
Did you really?
Yes.
I love that. I love that play.
That's a great name for that hole, because if you're going to go for it, you need to be pretty much damn perfect.
Perfection. And then here's the next hole. Here's the famous Redan, as you mentioned. This is
can't see the green.
This is the temple hole. You can kind of see the bunkering up there on the right side where it's that tilted, front to back green. And basically, how you play a Redan is right. You hit it to the right side of the green. It should, if you land at the correct distance and cover the bunkers, it should kick and run back to the pin. And it's a really hard shot to pull off, and quite rewarding when you do it well.
It is, because everything runs away. And it was fun watching Jordan and JT play the shots there, because they get kind of golf nerd out and want to try to play all the fun shots and use the slopes. And JT was playing like a hook 5-iron and trying to fly that bunker, and
really
like almost play like a chippy little draw, hit it like 140 yards and have it chase up that hill, because it was downwind and they couldn't stop it on the green if they were going to go right at it. So they were like, all right, can we kind of like chip hook something in there and run it up? So it was fun to watch him like try to play that shot.
I love it's just there's this course calls for so much creativity, and it's the joy in playing golf. Again, like links, of course, but also this course specifically. And I just got to close for North Berwick with a shout out to my dad for the greatest birdie I think I've ever seen in my life. So this is 16. This is Gate. It's a par 4. There's like a little kind of a burn or a little rock wall that separates it, and then it's a Biarritz green. So which you'll see here in a second. But basically,
how do you say it? Is it not Biarritz?
They were saying Biarritz over there. I mean, Biarritz. Look, you know what we're talking about. Google it. Yeah. And it's that big front of the green, and then a dip in the middle, and that elevated back of the green, right? Mm-hmm. So the pin's back here. He crushed like a 310-yard drive to get to here. He's got a little like 60-yard lob wedge in here. He nipped this thing. You're going to see him reacting to the shot, thinking that he's hit it off the back of the green. Nips this thing up there, stops it on the back of the green, has like 25 feet for birdie, and jars the birdie putt. The caddies were in
you love to hear it.
Disbelief. Like how in that, like you so rarely see people make birdie at this hole, let alone with that back pin
especially
placement.
The back pin.
And so that was
look at him.
That was my highlight of the trip, is seeing my dad make birdie at Gate, the 16th hole at North Berwick.
So
phenomenal
I
place.
think what's the takeaway here? So North Berwick, obviously Charlie and I both love it, but I think the lesson that you can take away from this is when planning a trip, whether it be Scotland, whether it be Ireland, whether it be anywhere, you have to start with your number one golf course. And if you're going to circle a course, start with North Berwick and plan your way around the trip with that. Because I think it's very overwhelming when you want to play North Berwick and then let's drive 4 overs across and let's go play this one. Like there's so many good courses around a lot of these famous courses that one's fine and you can just play the area and be totally you can be totally satisfied with how good the golf is in that certain area. So like, for instance, if you're going to go to North Berwick, play there, then you can go play Cullen. If you can get on Muirfield, great. But there's plenty of other great golf courses right around there that
Archer Field, I think.
Yeah,
obviously the Renaissance where they hold the Scottish Open.
So that's kind of that's my advice right now.
I'd say if I'll come back, I'm going to say when I come back, because I will. This is the trip I want to do: is go set up shop at the Marine North Berwick. and bring the family here. Let's just speak it out there to all the people with young families, with wives. Go here, go to North Barracks, stay here.
It's a great town.
Don't play 36 every day. Play 18 a day. Go into town. Do stuff with the family. You can schedule some night trips into Edinburgh. Do some stuff in the city. Go out to dinner. It's less than a half hour away to go to Edinburgh. If you want to try to pull off a family golf trip to Scotland and you're bringing everyone with you, try North Berwick. I think you can find some good things for everybody.
It's a quaint town. It really is. These hotels, and even if you do Airbnbs, whatever.
As of July 22nd, we start a new deal with a monster distribution platform called SportsGrid, and we'll be live every day on national radio on SiriusXM channel 159, and we will be live on their national television platform every day from 10 a.m. till noon.
Only on SportsGrid.
If this wind like we have out of the Northwest was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. And the guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
Now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. But that's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
The place we're moving next is, I'm thrilled to share to you about this place. So this is a place called Crail Golfing Society, okay? They have two courses here, the Balcomi Links we played, which is the much older version of it. This course was built in, or the society began in 1786, Smylie.
What the hell is this?
Balcomi, this is not far from St. Andrews, like probably 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And then there's a second course called Craighead that was designed by Gil Hance in the mid to late 1990s.
You played both of them?
Only played Balcomi. Craighead apparently is like a really exacting championship test. And
wait, so Crail Golfing Society has two courses? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
And you played which one?
Balcomi.
Okay.
And this is
Balcomi?
Balcomi, Balcomi. So I'm going to start you here with shout out to my dad, because he kept doing this weird dad thing where he kept taking these panoramic photos with me in them.
I remember the photo. Yeah.
But
isn't there a video of you on a par 3?
Yes, I'll show
down
that
the
to you in
hill.
a second.
I think that's the hole I'm looking at.
Yes, that is the hole you're looking at. So like, look at the views here. This stunning, just looking out the ocean. It's a weird panoramic where I'm moving around, so I look like an alien. Here's another.
When have you ever taken a panoramic and it actually works? And it actually gets the job done.
But it was just like my dad's go-to thing. He was like, I'm just going to keep busting out panos. But I mean, it's funny. Like with humans removed, like you get a sense for this property and this land. It was so flat, hardly any long grass. So like a fun play. Now, the thing that made it tough this day was it was blowing 30, 40 miles an hour. But it was like just this beautiful vista right next to the ocean, and one of the most fun finishing stretches that I've ever, like, definitely the most fun finishing stretch I played on this trip, and maybe the most fun finishing stretch I've ever played. So here's the here's right in that mix. This is the 14th here, and this is that downhill par 3.
Yeah, okay. That's the picture I'm looking at too.
This should be like a 155-yard shot that with no wind you can play like 135 since downhill. I'm holding a 5-iron in my hands.
Oh gosh.
And with a left-right wind, I'm just trying to kind of, as best I can trap it low, and it's spinning to the right. Here's how Crail Balcomi finishes, Smylie. It goes the 13th is a par 3 Craighead. The 14th is a par 3, the Cave. The 15th is a par 4, Mill Dam. The 16th is a par 3, Spawn Cop. 17th is a par 4, Road Hole. And 18th is a par 3, the Quarry. And
5 par 3s in the last 6 holes? Yeah. Did I just hear that?
You got, let's see here.
Or was it 4 par 3s?
4 par 3s, 2 par 4s in the last 6 holes. What? And all the par 3s are delightful and different. Like the one right before this hole, the 13th is an uphill par 3 with the wind ripping off right to left where you got to carry it uphill a long way. Then you got this downhill par 3. Then you play this par 4 that's out with the ocean on your left-hand side. Yep. Can't hit it too far because it'll run through. Then you have an uphill par 3 and where you got to carry like the sort of rock base. And then you're playing a par 4 downhill, and then you have a downhill par 3 to finish. Like the whole thing was just golf at its most fun is what I'd say for Crail.
All right. So my takeaway so far in all of these golf courses you've been walking us through, this to me is the golf course you start on. You start on this course, and the reason why, you find your golf ball, you knock the rust off, and on the first tee, you give it the old stretch and old practice swings. And man, just hadn't played a whole lot, guys. We'll see what I got today. Like all of those words that are the classic things that you say on the first tee when you're playing like crap and you're not going to have it that day. This is the perfect course to start because you'll work your way through your golf game out there. Yes, you're going to get exposed, but I think it sets you up for, hey, like I didn't have to go to the pro shop to get more golf balls. I still have the one ball I teed off with. This is where you got to start your trip, is from all of the things I've heard.
That is such a good call. Like even spinning that through my head right now, it feels like, yeah, why didn't we start? I mean, we didn't know.
This isn't where you
it.
finish your trip. You don't finish your trip here. Going.
Just delightful fun. Like Scotland, this is going to be a fun thing. Now, let me tell you what else, because you mentioned the first tee. So when you get to the first tee at Crail, this is what they give you right here. I'm going to try to hold this up, show you this. It says,
set a pack of Zins.
Oh, man. You could probably fit a Zin tin inside this if you wanted to. This is not a it's not a tin full of Zins.
It's emergency supplies. Are you sure it's not
2024 emergency supplies? Let me tell you what comes inside.
Some Zin Bambinos in there, baby.
Couple of Scottish lip pillows for the road. This is what comes inside this kit. They have a little like packet of whiskey. Like it's like a little plastic thing of whiskey that they it's like Balcomi whiskey that I guess is distilled near site, like somewhere in the area, local. And they have this thing called Tablet. What Tablet is like, they're just like sugar cubes effectively. It's like they mix like vanilla extract and like these little, it's almost like, it's like a biscuit, but it's just a sugar biscuit. So I'm out there, I'm making huge numbers early on, and I'm just like, throwing the whiskey back, throwing the tablet back, feeling good about life. Like I'd say that this is when you go to a place where you play as bad as I did, but you still have as much fun as I did, that's when you know it's a keeper. And so I love what you're saying. Like that's a great call. Go stay in St. Andrews, look around the city, get started, but go play Crail first. And then you're just like, I'm ready to go.
I'm a little turned off by the name, but also kind of turned on, if that makes sense, because you show up to a place and I feel like you're on your like tiptoes because you want to be on your best behavior because you're at a golfing society, Crail Golfing Society. I feel like I should be wearing all white. And after we finish our round of golf, we're going to play some badminton and some croquet. That's like what I had pictures when I typed this in. But after getting some whiskey on the first tee and some buttermilk biscuits or whatever you were talking about, that to me kind of is like maybe we're at this kind of frat party that actually it's the name sounds really serious, but we like to have a good time. That to me encompasses what I believe the Creole Golfing Society is.
Well, you know what's so funny about that is I had the same sort of thing. I was like, this place is so unique to all the other courses, and they call themselves a golfing society. What's that all going to be about? What I think it came down to was they seem to have this amazing club ethos. The caddies are members. Like, we had two guys who are members who are out there caring for you. So they played the course a million times. They know the course, and it's just part of a thing you do. It's like, if you're a member of the course, we have guests that are coming in. We want to take them around the course and help them enjoy this thing and
so
appreciate
cool. It's
it.
so opposite from the States, right?
Completely, right? Like,
that's why golf's so cool over there.
You mean to tell me Kevin Durant could just get a free trip and Jaylen Brown telling y'all I can play? Y'all won't put what they got to get. They will not put Jaylen Brown on the team. They'll give them who get hurt.
He's an NBA professional, billionaire, superstar player. I feel like this is just an opinion. The Olympics should be about Olympians, not about pros that come to represent as Olympians.
Only on SportsGrid.
If this wind like we have out of the Northwest was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. The guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
DeMar DeRozan now joins that team in Sacramento with the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Domantas Sabonis, Devin Carter, who they drafted early, Keegan Murray as well. A Kings team, DRS, that has been a playoff contender.
Is it going to equate to a championship? Probably not. But that's not the goal. Make your team better every offseason. The Kings definitely got better with that move here, Ben.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Next, we go to the Old Course.
I don't need to Google. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think you need to Google the Old Course. This place was, I mean, it's not like I need to go in depth on what this place is. Everyone knows the Old Course is. I will just say, like, is nothing in the world like the first tee jitters at the Old Course. When you got everyone sitting, you got people behind on the street watching, you got people over on the putting green watching. It looks like it should be like one of the widest fairways in the world, especially because you also have the 18th fairway to use as well, but somehow it's still the most nerve-wracking tee shot. Like, I kind of like chunk drew a 3-wood out there to find the fairway and just, kept the nerves down, made par on the first hole. But it is, I just think that there, you got to, if you're going, you kind of have to play the Old Course, because there's just nothing like walking the same place that people have walked for hundreds and hundreds of years. The feelings on the first tee, the feelings on the tee at the road hole, the feelings on the tee at the home hole, just looking around and being like, golly, I've seen this so many different times, and now I'm here playing it. This is unbelievable. Like, it's unlike anything else.
Question for you. Do you think the old course is outdated in where technology is now? Do you feel like do you think it's a hard enough golf course for what today's modern technology is and how good these guys are?
I think,
thank you, Paul. Hang up and listen.
Paul, there's a little SEC radio. I'd say, the Old Course in a lot of ways reminds me of like Pebble Beach, in that it has a ton of history but it really doesn't beat you up too much. Like, it's pretty much out there in front of you. Like, you can definitely hit in some bad places. You can definitely hit in some long grass. You can make a mess of that place. But for the most part, its defense is always going to be the elements, right? The wind, if it's rainy, that's what's going to kind of, keep scores down, right? If you don't have that, of course, pros are going to rip it up. I think that, but I still wouldn't go away from a place like that, because I just think there's just nothing like, they're just places that make you feel a certain way. If you love golf, you love the game, you love its history, regardless of like the actual course itself, you're just going to step onto that place. You're just going to be like, there's nothing that can make me feel this way except for the old course. And that's kind of where I net out on the old course. Is like, a lot of the holes, kind of run together because they're just using the land that was there, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. And so it's not this tricked up, kind of, wild. It's, Prestwick is so different from this. Like, this is a very different sort of thing, but it's the old course. And I'd say the other thing too is that you're signing up for a long round. It's going to be a 5-hour round because there are a zillion courses out there and it's all packed foursomes. The thing that probably took me, by surprise a little bit was the hang was so good. The caddies were hilarious. Like, we had a guy, my caddy was Jake. We had this caddy, Scott, who was on my dad's bag, who carries in the Dunhill. They were doing trivia and jokes the entire time. It was a 5-hour round that did not feel like a 5-hour round. And I think that's like maybe one of the best compliments I could pay to a place, is that the time flew because it was such a good hang and such a good experience.
Yep. I haven't played it. It's got to be number one on the list for me.
And this is, by the way, shout out to Scott for taking the best video I'll maybe ever have of my golf swing in the entire life, where he just ran up on, he's like, give me your phone. He was like, okay. He just ran up on this hill and just got me absolutely launching a rocket 3-wood. I believe this is on the 6th hole of St. Andrews. And I don't have the volume up now, but you can hear the it kind of went by his phone. So shout out to you, Scott. You killed it. And I think too, the other thing too is, I hit it in the road hole bunker. Which was the only double I made all day. I was 2 over going to the road hole bunker, and I hit it there. And you can kind of zoom in and see how I was feeling about hitting it in the road hole bunker.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that's what the bunkers look like this week at Troon, man.
It's just a tough seam to hit. I almost got it out in the first try, but just didn't quite get up the revetted face. And then honestly too, I just say, you're talking about the feelings of this place. Like, this was, for me, being with my dad on this trip, like, this walk up 18, you can't beat it. I mean, just looking around, taking it in, like, this is, you're finishing out your round at the old course. I think go play this course with someone you love and you care about and you want to make memories with, because you're going to be able to share that for a lifetime. And I think that this, to me, our second to last round of the trip, walking up that fairway, looking at Rusacks, looking at just, the old course hotel, everything, it's a top 3 feeling in golf. This is, I guess we're heading into the 3M Open. So hopefully by now you've seen our one and done picks, and or we're going to be having an Instagram live with Smylie joining us from Ireland, where he is going on a golf trip that perhaps we'll recap at some point in time soon.
Definitely
so look forward to that.
Definitely will.
So enjoy your week. We appreciate you watching and listening, and we'll be back here talking to you again very soon.